you know, in the next slide, you'll see that life on planet Earth has always been evolving. When Uranus was discovered in 1781, human beings evolved from a seven-centered chakra-based human to the potential of living a nine-centered life. You can look at the two images and see the shift. The seven-centered life was based on the mind. And we needed the mind. We needed the mind in order to advance as humans. Now there is a chance for a human to evolve to live a nine-centered life where the mind is no longer the authority. And there's the potential to surrender to our forms and experience consciousness, to experience the consciousness that is within these forms. We've been in an evolutionary process where there have been several changes along the way. Whether you're going back 400,000 years and you're looking at Homo erectus, or you're moving along and you see Neanderthals and Cro-Magnons, we're talking about an ongoing evolutionary process. In 2027, there's a new form coming. It's called the Rave. It will not be like us. It's really going to be different. And I'm not going to talk about the Rave because I am concerned about you and how you can live through this intense and incredible shift that's happening now. And that will continue to unfold beyond our own lives. You know, the Rave is going to come. But it's not here. It's like we're here. And I'm concerned about us. I'm concerned about humanity and individual humans. You know, and you can see on the, you know, on this image too, to the right, that there's a movement of one key. Gate 37 to gate 55. This is where the mutation is coming. It's actually in gate 55, line 6, that the mutation will take place. And mutation is going to begin with the change in gate 55. And this is the chemical change in the prostate that is the byproduct of the mutation that's taking place in gate 55. It begins with the relationship between gate 55 and gate 59. This is the arm in the cross of the sleeping phoenix that's going to be transformed in 2027. That's already happening now, huh? And, you know, I wrote down a quote from Ra that I'd like to read. He says, on one side is the 55 that says, here is a mutation bringing something that is new. The 59 says, here is a mutation that is going to end what's old. This is the coming sterility. This is the coming infertility that is already at work on the planet. The transformation in the 55 does precisely the opposite in the 59. The transformation in the 59 starts killing humans in order for Raves to be born. It starts terminating Homo sapiens because Homo sapiens is not where we're going. Where we're going is to the real Rave. Now, I don't read that to scare anyone. But we can see with what's happening on the planet now that people are dying. The flu kills people. Natural disasters kill people. This is all part of the unfolding of the program. You know, when I first learned global consciousness, about the global consciousness program in the 1990s, it was all so far away. when he said that the bigger program is no longer interested in humans, that it's interested in what is coming, I freaked out. I mean, that's why I said I don't say this to freak you out, because I freaked out when he said that. It was like, how can that be? What's going to happen to me? I am not freaked out now. But I freaked out then because I was new in my experiment and my mind still had control over me. And my mind was still able to deeply disturb me. Now, when I read that quote, I wasn't disturbed. I see it for what it is. It's an evolutionary process. And one of the statistics coming from the coronavirus is that more men are getting it than women. As soon as I read that, it was like, oh my goodness, okay. And then I read one of the byproducts of that is that men's ability to reproduce is affected. And part of the shift of the global consciousness program is infertility and less humans. Isn't that something? That this is embedded into the program to actually happen. Because we as Homo sapiens is not where the future lies. It's not like we're going to disappear, but over centuries there will be less and less humans. I mean, there's so much about the mutation and the Rave coming, but I don't really want to get into all this predictive part of the knowledge that Ra was given. My energy is really here to focus on the locks and the keys, and to help you be anchored within, so whatever happens, that there are more and more people on this planet who can be stable and who can trust their body and their inner authority or their decision-making process to guide them through whatever comes. That's where my energy is. That's what I care about. But in these times, I never thought I was going to teach global cycles or the global consciousness program again. But in these times, and it's important. And I also really love that it's being translated into your language because, you know, it's important to hear it like that. And also for me to look at it all in terms of what's happening now. Just gonna have a sip of my coffee here. It's quite intense, huh? The global consciousness program. I can even hear it in my voice. You know, it's like, it's very different than. When I'm just sharing about living your strategy and authority. This is a lot of information. That's why I wanted you to have this before we meet online, so that we can really look into what's happening now and the shift that's going on, huh? The next image shows our planetary program, huh? And the planetary program impacts us directly and indirectly. You know, directly is at the moment of our birth. At that precise moment, we were imprinted by the sun, by the earth, by the moon, and the planets of our solar system. You know, the neutrino stream is continually moving and passing through everything, including us, every second. And as it goes in, it puts information in, and as it goes out, it carries information out. It's an exchange. It's not a one-way street. What goes into us then leaves us and carries that out into the universe. And as humans, our greatest direct imprint comes from the sun and the earth. This makes up 70% of who we are. Indirectly, the planetary program impacts us by transits. The neutrino stream is, you know, always passing through everything. So even after we're born, it's passing through the sun, the earth, the moon, and the planets. It doesn't just stop at the time of our birth. So it continues to indirectly impact us each day. And the planetary program can change hour by hour, minute by minute. It's a very fast-moving program. Okay, the next slide. This is my human design chart, huh? I just put me up there. I figured, okay, I'll just stick me up there. So the neutrino stream passing through the sun, earth, moon, and the other planets at our I lost my thought. I was looking at my chart. So everything moving through at the exact time of my birth carried information that was put into me. Consciousness is out there. When it came into my form, like I mentioned before, consciousness in form, the consciousness that was out there when it was called into my form at the time that the neocortex of my brain was built, it was like the design crystal sends out a signal to the universe, and consciousness comes in and comes into the form. That's the personality crystal. When it came into my form, it gave me a very specific way to live out my life. It had very specific set themes for me. But, you know, before human design, I lived out mostly my open centers. I was initiating. I was emotional as all hell. I mean, I'm not an emotional being. I was just taking it in from everywhere I was. And I ended up being a mess, an inner mess. And then through living my strategy and honoring my decision-making process, which for me is my sacral authority, which are sounds, I became aware of my mind talking. And that awareness brought me to the place of no longer believing what my mind had to say. And slowly, slowly, I began living what I was born to live. I mean, I never dreamed something like this was possible. I'm so relaxed inside myself. I love being me. And it's beyond accepting what is. I love what is. I trust what is. And I trust whatever's coming and whatever's going to unfold. I had fun creating the next slide, huh? And this image, it goes below the surface of our charts. And this image itself shows what is below the line in my chart. And you can look and see the red, that's my design unconscious, the sun in gate 44. And then you can see in the black, the personality conscious, the sun in gate 41. And in that image, I tracked my design and personality sun to the base. I don't know who else here, but in human design, the surface is the gate. Then comes the line. Then it goes deeper to the color. and deeper to the tone, and the deepest is the base. So when you look at this image, follow the lines with the arrows. It's a very specific flow that I am programmed to live. It is the mechanics of who I am. Look at that line, but then look at all I am not, all those areas that are not that one line. I'm not here to live that. And this is just one gate. And this is all the information below the line for that one gate that's my form and the one gate's that my personality. Look at all that I'm not. That's just, I mean, look at all the gates that we have on our chart. And there's this kind of diagram for every single gate. The mind can never get us to live who we are. Ever. No matter how much we know about human design, no matter how much we study it and understand it, if we don't live it, we cannot live this. And when you look at this image, there is absolutely no way, no matter what brilliant mind you may have, there's no way the mind could even understand what this flow means to every single gate in a person's chart. And for me, this is why I stay at the surface. I mean, why I have only offered my immersion work for the past 18 plus years. Because until a person is grounded and living according to their strategy, there is no chance to live who you were born to be. There is no chance for transformation. There's no chance to be stable in these very unstable times. And that's all I want for people. I want each and every one of you to live who you were born to be. It brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. I want you to be stable within yourself, to trust yourself, because we live in unstable times where we cannot trust anything out there. We can't trust governments, countries, experts. And it's not that any of them are bad or wrong. It's just what is. It's the program unfolding. So I just wanted to show you that image so you see the depth of the information visually. Visually rather than just hearing it. Because when you visually see this, I mean, it's mind-blowing. All that we are not meant to live, and that very fine line we're meant to live.